everybody. Just wanted to talk about finances and when you're in a relationship, a marriage, a committed relationship. Say you're with your other half, you're not going to get married, but you decided you don't want to get married for whatever reason, and you bought a house together. You really need to be on board with what the other person is spending their money on. If you have separate checking accounts, which I've heard of this before, and when I was married, we had separate checking accounts, and then we ended up consolidating them into one checking account, and then we could see what each other was spending. So the thing I'm getting at, the reason is, yes, you trust your partner. Hopefully they're responsible and accountable with money. They don't just blow everything. They get paid and they don't just blow everything that they just made. You know, they have each dollar they have has a purpose. So what I suggest you do is sit down maybe every 2 weeks for a couple minutes and go through, look at each other's checking accounts or wherever you spend your money out of, to see what, if you don't have your own checking account, or just randomly, go and look at the other person's. It should be an open book. It shouldn't be like, oh no, you can't see my stuff. You're not going to look at what I spend my money on. Wait a second. Especially if you're married in a legal agreement. Okay? The marriage is legal. If the other person gets themselves in credit card debt, and you should be on board with what your credit reports, both of you, have on them. Maybe I've heard horror stories. I'm not saying anybody's doing this. It's just something to think about. Horror stories about people that have been married to someone for a few years, and they found out they had 10 credit cards open. They maxed them out, and they owe $50,000 in credit card debt, and the other person didn't even know about it. Well, guess what? That person, the other person, even though they didn't open them, they didn't sign for them, they didn't create the debt, they didn't buy whatever was on it, they're responsible for that debt. So it's going to be hitting their credit report if they got married to that person. So it's very important to look at the other person's spending across the board, credit reports, credit cards, what are we buying here? Your checking account or wherever you pay your bills out of, everything. It should all be an open book. If somebody says, oh, you can't look at that, why not? And the same should be with your retirement accounts, any kind of savings accounts. You really should combine stuff. If you are going to stay with this person for a very long time and the relationship's going so well, you need to get on board with everything, including finances. So that's my stint of what I have to say this morning. I hope everybody has a great day. I hope this helped out. I hope I'm learning from it. This is from experience. So I'm not just telling you it because I met people. I did meet people that had problems in their marriage with finances, and unfortunately, financials ruin more marriages than I think a lot of other things, even infidelity. And that's another thing. With somebody that's doing that kind of stuff, move on. Count your losses and go find somebody that loves you, that wants to be with you. They want to be with you. Everything's about you. They care about your feelings. They care about how they make you feel. They never say anything to anybody else negatively about you. That's the kind of person they want to be with. Now, not somebody that doesn't ever acknowledge or try to help you be a better person. You want somebody that's gonna try to get you to the next level. They're gonna say, hey, what do you think about this? Not not like if you need to lose a few pounds, not, hey, did you look in the mirror lately? Did you see how fat you are? That's not helping somebody. That is pulling down and killing their self-esteem. Saying something like, hey, why don't we make healthier meals, out of the blue, trying to help somebody in a positive way. So that's what I have. I hope you gain something from this. Like and subscribe. I'll bring more videos, and I hope you have a great day. Okay, bye.